Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you're really paying attention to what's unfolding in the NFL right now, especially in the AFC North, you know that the Pittsburgh Steelers are always looking for ways to get better, to improve their roster. And this season, the buzz surrounding the team is hotter than ever. We're talking about a potential move that could shake up not only the division but also the entire league. And yes, we're talking about the possibility of the Steelers making a bold, aggressive move in the trade market. Specifically, their interest in acquiring Miami Dolphins star wide receiver Tyreek Hill. That's right, the same Tyreek Hill who's been one of the most electrifying players in the NFL for years now. The question is, could this really happen? Would the Steelers pull the trigger and bring in a player of Hill's caliber? And what would that mean for Pittsburgh's offense and their Super Bowl aspirations? Well, let's dig into the details that are buzzing around the league, because this isn't just speculation. There are real reasons to believe the Steelers are eyeing this move. First off, let's set the scene. The NFL is a league of high-stakes moves, and in recent seasons, we've seen teams make bold trades to push for a championship. The Steelers, under their current management, have been known for their careful, strategic approach, but they've also shown that they're not afraid to go all in when the opportunity arises. Now, with the team's current roster, there's a clear need for more explosive playmakers on offense. Kenny Pickett has shown flashes of brilliance, but he's still developing, and having a receiver like Tyreek Hill could be the kind of game-changer that elevates the entire attack. Imagine Hill lining up alongside the likes of Diontae Johnson and George Pickens. The speed, the route running, the ability to turn a short pass into a long touchdown, that's exactly what Pittsburgh needs to diversify their offensive attack and keep defenses honest. But what's really interesting here is the potential cost. According to NFL insiders like James Palmer, who appeared on Bleacher Report's YouTube channel, the Steelers aren't looking to break the bank in terms of draft capital. It's believed that a relatively modest price, perhaps a late-round pick, maybe a 4th or 5th rounder, could be enough to acquire Hill from the Dolphins. Now, that might sound surprising, considering Hill's incredible talent and production, but the NFL trade market often hinges on multiple factors, including a player's current team situation, off-field issues, and potential investigations. And here's where things get complicated. Tyreek Hill, at 31 years old, has had his fair share of off-the-field issues over the years, and with recent allegations and ongoing investigations, the Dolphins are undoubtedly cautious. They've already shown a reluctance to entertain trade offers during the offseason, with the Dolphins reportedly saying no to teams that called about Hill then. That said, the NFL is known for surprises, and as the trade deadline approaches, usually around late October or early November, teams might reassess their positions. Miami could decide they're ready to move on from Hill if they believe the return is right, especially if they're gearing up for a retooling or rebuild. The Dolphins, after all, are coming off a season where Hill managed to rack up nearly 800 yards and 13 touchdowns, reaffirming his status as one of the league's top receivers. But last year, he didn't quite hit that 0-yard mark, and in Week 1 this season, he only managed 40 yards on 4 catches in a blowout loss to the Colts. So perhaps Miami is already thinking about the future, and if they can get a decent draft pick in return, it might be the right move for them. And that's where Pittsburgh's interest truly comes into focus. The Steelers, of course, are always looking to maximize their roster's potential. They have a solid core, but adding Hill would turn their offense into a much more dynamic unit. Think about the space and mismatches Hill could create. With his speed and ability to stretch the field, he would open up opportunities not only for himself, but also for Diontae Johnson and George Pickens. It would give Kenny Pickett a true deep threat, something the Steelers have been missing since the days of Big Ben. That kind of weapon is invaluable in today's NFL, where offenses are increasingly predicated on big plays and explosive scoring drives. And it's not just about adding a star receiver, it's about making a statement in the division. The AFC North is fiercely competitive, with teams like the Ravens, Bengals, and Browns all vying for supremacy. Pittsburgh's move to bring in Hill could tip the scales in their favor, giving them a serious edge in terms of offensive firepower. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Can the Steelers afford to gamble on Hill's off-field issues? That's always the question with a player like him. Off the field, Hill has faced allegations, and the NFL is currently reviewing new claims made by his estranged wife. These are serious concerns, and the league's investigation will undoubtedly influence whether Pittsburgh feels comfortable making a deal. Even if Hill is cleared, the organization would need to weigh the risks versus the rewards. But let's not forget, Pittsburgh has a long history of making bold moves when the opportunity presents itself. Remember the times they've gone all in, whether it was acquiring key players or making strategic draft picks. And with their current roster, they're looking for that one piece to push them over the top. So, what does all this mean for the upcoming months? Well, it's clear that the Steelers are at a crossroads. They're looking to contend now, not just in the future, and acquiring a player like Hill fits perfectly with that mentality. It's about building a roster that's capable of competing at the highest level, especially in a division as tough as the AFC North. The trade market is always unpredictable, but the signs point to Pittsburgh possibly being involved in the discussions. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet. The Dolphins aren't actively shopping Hill, and the league's review could still change the picture entirely. But if the opportunity arises, if Miami decides to move forward with trading Hill, it would be a move that could define the Steelers' season and potentially set them up for a deep playoff run. And here's the thing, imagine the impact on the team's chemistry and confidence. A player of Hill's caliber would boost everyone's morale. The coaching staff would have a versatile weapon that can do so much more than just catch passes. He can be a game breaker on special teams, a threat in the return game, and a deep threat that defenses have to game plan for every single week. For Kenny Pickett, having a receiver like Hill could unlock new levels of playmaking, giving him a reliable target who can turn a short pass into a highlight reel touchdown. It's the kind of addition that energizes the entire organization, from the front office to the locker room. But let's keep it real, there are hurdles. The trade would require some strategic planning, and the Steelers would need to handle Hill's off-field situation with care and diligence. They would also have to consider the long-term implications, including contract negotiations and how Hill fits into their overall team culture. It's not just about talent, it's about team chemistry, leadership, and aligning with the Steelers' values. Still, given the current state of the league and the Steelers' ambitions, it's a move worth considering if the price is right. So, in summary, folks, the potential trade for Tyreek Hill is shaping up to be one of the most exciting storylines of this NFL season. The Steelers are clearly interested, and if the Dolphins decide to entertain offers closer to the trade deadline, we might see a blockbuster move that could redefine Pittsburgh's title chances. The team's management is undoubtedly weighing the risks and rewards, but the opportunity to bring in a player of Hill's caliber is too tempting for a franchise with Super Bowl dreams. As always, the NFL is full of surprises, and this could be one of the biggest yet. Remember, the Steelers are a franchise with a rich history of bold moves and clutch performances. They've always been about building a team that can compete for championships, and right now, that quest might lead them to the signature move of the season. Whether this trade happens or not, one thing is clear: Pittsburgh is in the conversation, and they're not backing down from the challenge. So stay tuned, because the coming weeks will be critical as this story develops. Will the Steelers land Hill and make a serious push toward another Super Bowl? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, they're definitely in the mix and will be here to cover every step of the way. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on the possibility of acquiring Tyreek Hill? Do you think it's the move that could push Pittsburgh over the top, or are the off-field concerns too risky? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. We'll keep you informed about every development, every rumor, and every official move. Thanks for being part of this community, and as always, let's keep the passion alive. Here's to a promising season ahead, and who knows, you might just see Hill in black and gold before the trade deadline passes. That's all for now, folks. Stay safe, stay Steelers strong, and we'll see you next time.